There is a divine stirring taking place in the unseen realm, and it is about to manifest in your visible life. God is about to supercharge your bank account, not as a reward for greed, not as an invitation to pride, but as a demonstration of divine order, divine favor, and divine purpose. What you are about to experience will not make sense to logic, will not fit the patterns of your past, and will not follow the rules of limitation that once governed your life. God is shifting your financial story, and this shift begins in your spirit before it ever touches your hands. Many have struggled silently, praying quietly, believing deeply while resources ran low and opportunities seemed delayed. You did everything you knew how to do. You worked hard, you stayed honest. You remained faithful even when doors closed instead of opening. God saw every moment when you gave thanks with an empty wallet and spoke hope while bills shouted fear. Understand this clearly: God never ignores faith that perseveres under pressure. What looked like delay was alignment. What felt like denial was preparation. God does not release increase into a mind that would collapse under its weight. He builds the inner structure first, so the outer blessing does not destroy you. Right now, God is correcting imbalances that were never your fault. There were seasons when others prospered while you wondered if your prayers were unheard. But God was watching how you handled lack, because how you manage little determines how you steward much. This next financial move of God will not come from panic, striving, or manipulation. It will come suddenly, strategically, and unmistakably. You will look at your account and know that human effort alone could not have produced this outcome. God specializes in sudden reversals that silence doubt and humble fear. Hear this deeply: wealth in the hands of the unprepared becomes a burden, but provision in the hands of the aligned becomes power. God is not just increasing numbers, God is increasing capacity. Your thinking is expanding, your vision is sharpening, and your discernment is strengthening. The reason you survive seasons of scarcity is because God was teaching you restraint, gratitude, and wisdom. You learned how to stretch, how to prioritize, how to trust. Those lessons are now becoming the foundation upon which increase can safely rest. There are people listening who once felt shame, even talking about finances, as if needing provision meant lacking faith. But God is not offended by your need. God is the source of all provision, and dependence on God is not weakness, it is alignment. When God supplies, it does not come with sorrow, regret, or fear of loss. It comes with peace, clarity, and purpose. God's provision strengthens your ability to serve, give, build, and bless. This is not about luxury for ego. This is about resources for assignment. Some of you are about to see money come from directions you stopped praying about because you assumed the door was closed forever. God reopens doors that time tried to seal shut. Old contacts will remember you. Opportunities will resurface. Ideas that once felt too big will suddenly feel possible. God is activating dormant seeds, investments of effort, integrity, and faith that were planted long ago and watered with patience. Harvest does not arrive when you feel ready. It arrives when the seed has matured. Your season has matured. Understand this: God does not supercharge your bank account to impress others. God does it to free you from survival mode. When survival consumes your energy, vision shrinks. But when provision stabilizes, purpose expands. God wants your mind liberated from constant financial anxiety so you can hear more clearly, move more boldly, and give more generously. The noise of fear has been blocking clarity, and God is turning the volume down by increasing supply. There are unseen battles that took place behind closed doors, nights when worry tried to steal your sleep, mornings when uncertainty sat heavy on your chest. God was present in every one of those moments. Not a single tear was wasted. Not a single prayer was ignored. What is coming will restore your confidence, not in money, but in the faithfulness of God. You will trust God on a deeper level because you will see proof that provision does not depend on circumstances. It flows from alignment. God is teaching you that wealth is a tool, not an identity. You are not defined by numbers, but numbers will now serve your mission. You will not chase money. Money will respond to purpose. When your intentions are clean, your heart is anchored, and your actions are guided by integrity, provision follows naturally. God is removing the fear that once caused you to undersell yourself, to hesitate when opportunity appeared, or to accept less than what your value demanded. You are stepping into confidence without arrogance and authority without aggression. This season requires you to think differently. Scarcity thinking once protected you, but now it limits you. God is shifting your mindset from preservation to expansion. Expansion does not mean waste. It means vision. It means planning beyond today. It means believing that what God starts, God sustains. You are learning to expect continuity instead of collapse, overflow instead of shortage. This expectation is not fantasy, it is faith aligned with divine order. Some will misunderstand your growth. They will assume luck, shortcuts, or compromise. But God knows the truth. God knows the discipline you practiced when no one was watching. God knows the choices you made that cost you comfort but preserved your integrity. Let people talk. The same voices that doubted you will need they ask how you remain steady. Your response will not be prideful explanation, but quiet gratitude to God. There is a divine exchange taking place. Stress is being replaced with strategy. Fear is being replaced with foresight. Confusion is being replaced with clarity. God is sharpening your decision making because increase requires wisdom. More money without wisdom creates chaos, but wisdom attracts and sustains increase. You are becoming wiser, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually. That wisdom is magnetic. Expect acceleration. What used to take years will take months. What took months will take weeks. This does not mean effort disappears. It means resistance decreases. God removes unnecessary obstacles when alignment is complete. You will notice smoother conversations, faster approvals, unexpected favor. These are not coincidences, they are confirmations. God is signaling that you are in the right place at the right time with the right posture. There were moments when you almost gave up believing that abundance could coexist with faith. You were told that wanting more meant being ungrateful. But God never asked you to glorify struggle. Gratitude does not mean settling for less than what God prepared. Gratitude means trusting God even before increase arrives. Now that trust is being honored. Your bank account is about to reflect your inner growth. As discipline increased, provision followed. As generosity matured, opportunity expanded. As patience deepened, stability formed. God aligns outer results with inner readiness. This is why the increase will feel natural rather than shocking. You will recognize it as the next logical step in a journey God has been quietly guiding. Do not be surprised when your confidence rises. Not arrogance, but calm assurance. You will move differently because fear will no longer dictate every choice. You will negotiate without desperation, invest without panic, give without anxiety. God is restoring dignity to your financial life. You will no longer feel small when discussing money. You will speak with clarity, wisdom, and calm authority. This supercharge is not a single moment, it is a shift in flow. Streams that once dried up will remain open. Income that once fluctuated will stabilize. God values consistency because consistency builds trust. You are stepping into a rhythm of provision that supports long-term purpose rather than temporary relief. Remember this always: money follows movement. As you move in obedience, integrity, and vision, provision responds. God does not bless stagnation. God blesses motion aligned with purpose. Keep moving, keep believing, keep acting with wisdom. The increase will not distract you, it will empower you. Some listening are meant to become solutions for others. God increases your resources so you can relieve burdens, open doors, and create opportunities. Your blessing is connected to impact. As your bank account grows, so will your influence. But Yeshua, it will keep you grounded. God trusts you because you have proven that you will not forget the source. What is coming will heal old wounds tied to lack. Memories of embarrassment, rejection, and anxiety will lose their grip. You will no longer flinch when unexpected expenses arise. Peace will replace panic. Confidence will replace fear. This is not because money becomes your security, but because God remains your source. Stay attentive. God often delivers increase through instruction. An idea, a nudge, a connection. These are vehicles of provision. Do not ignore small promptings. Great outcomes often begin as quiet impressions. God speaks softly because clarity does not need volume. You are not late. You are not behind. You are precisely where preparation meets promise. God is about to supercharge your bank account in a way that aligns with who you have become, not who you used to be. The past taught you endurance. The present is building expectation. The future will demonstrate fulfillment. What many do not realize is that provision is governed by spiritual laws just as real as natural ones. God operates with order, timing, and intention. When alignment is complete, resistance dissolves. That is why this season feels different from previous attempts. Before you pushed and strained, but now momentum meets you halfway. God is not asking you to beg for what is already scheduled. He is asking you to stay attentive, disciplined, and receptive. When the heart is aligned, the hands receive without struggle. There is a refining taking place in how you see value. God is teaching you that your worth was never tied to your balance. Yet your balance is about to reflect the value you carry. You are no longer negotiating from insecurity. You are no longer driven by fear of not having enough. God is restoring clarity to your judgment so you can recognize opportunities without confusion and decline distractions without guilt. Discernment is increasing because provision demands responsibility. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos is decreasing. That is intentional. God is ordering your life because disorder leaks resources. Emotional disorder drains finances. Mental clutter clouds decisions. God is calming internal storms so external increase does not slip through cracks. Peace is becoming your standard because peace sustains growth. Where there is peace, there is consistency. Where there is consistency, there is multiplication. God is also healing your relationship with patience. Patience is no longer passive waiting, it is active trust. You are learning how to move without rushing and wait without doubting. This balance protects you from impulsive decisions that once cost you time and money. God is training you to pause, listen, and act with precision. Precision attracts increase because it minimizes waste. There are lessons you learned in scarcity that abundance will now reward. You learn budgeting, restraint, and intentionality. Those skills, Ellis, were not survival tactics. They were preparation tools. God never wastes a season. What once felt like deprivation was instruction in disguise. Now, when resources expand, you will manage them with wisdom rather than emotion. Wisdom turns provision into legacy. You are stepping into a phase where your words carry weight. Speak carelessly and confusion follows. Speak with intention and doors respond. God honors speech that aligns with truth and purpose. When you declare expectation rooted in faith, you are not trying to convince God, you are aligning yourself. Your words are becoming agreements with divine order, not reactions to fear. Expect new responsibilities to accompany new resources. God increases capacity alongside provision. You may be entrusted with projects, people, or platforms that require maturity. This is not pressure, it is elevation. God never elevates without equipping. The same wisdom that guided you through lack will guide you through abundance. There will be moments when you are tempted to look back and measure progress against past pain. Do not do that. Comparison anchors you to old limitations. God is calling you forward, not backward. Let the past testify, not define. Gratitude honors where you came from, but vision determines where you go. You will also notice a shift in how you give. Giving will no longer feel like loss, it will feel like flow. God teaches that what moves continues to move. Stagnation breeds fear, but generosity builds confidence. When you give with wisdom and joy, you affirm that God remains your source. This posture keeps channels open. Be aware that not everyone will understand your boundaries. Growth requires protection. God may lead you to say no more often, to guard your time, energy, and focus. These boundaries are not selfish, they are stewardship. Increase without boundaries invites burnout. God values sustainability over spectacle. Your identity is stabilizing. You are no longer swayed by fluctuations. Whether numbers rise or pause, your trust remains anchored. This stability is essential because God entrusts much to those who remain steady. Emotional consistency attracts long-term provision. Drama repels it. There is also a call to excellence emerging. God honors diligence. What you touch now requires greater care. Excellence multiplies impact. Small improvements compound into significant outcomes. God is sharpening your attention to detail because excellence signals readiness. Expect clarity around long-term vision. Short-term fixes are giving way to lasting strategies. God is expanding your horizon beyond immediate relief into sustained abundance. This vision will guide your decisions and keep you from shortcuts that compromise integrity when obstacles arise, and they will. You will face them differently. Instead of panic, you will respond with assessment. Instead of fear, you will apply wisdom. God is not removing challenges, He is changing your response to them. This shift precede RV's momentum. Remember that humility remains your anchor. Confidence grows, but humility keeps you teachable. God resists pride, but supports humility with grace. Stay open to learning. Stay aware that every increase carries responsibility. There will be moments of silence between breakthroughs. Do not mistake silence for absence. God often works quietly to protect what is forming. Trust the process even when results are not immediately visible. Consistency during silence proves maturity. Your financial story is becoming testimony, not to glorify wealth, but to demonstrate faithfulness. Others will find hope through your journey. Your discipline will inspire. Your patience will encourage. God uses lived experience to teach truth. Stay grounded in gratitude. Gratitude keeps perspective clear. It reminds you that provision is partnership, not entitlement. Gratitude multiplies joy and guards contentment. As this supercharge unfolds, remain aligned with purpose. Let every decision reflect wisdom. Let every gain honor God. Let every step be guided by clarity. What is unfolding now is not temporary relief, it is structural change. God is establishing stability, growth, and peace that endure beyond seasons. This is not hype. This is alignment. This is the natural outcome of faith refined by patience, wisdom shaped by experience, and trust anchored in God. What flows next will confirm that preparation was not wasted and waiting was not in vain. There is another dimension to thee. As increase that must be understood, because God does not operate on surface level change alone. God transforms systems, not just situations. What you are experiencing now is a restructuring of how provision reaches you. Before, it came through struggle, unpredictability, and emotional strain. Now God is reordering the channels. You will notice patterns emerging. Consistency where there was randomness, reliability where there was instability. This is not accidental. God is building a framework that can sustain growth without collapse. You are also being taught the difference between urgency and obedience. Urgency pushes you to act out of fear. Obedience moves you with calm precision. God is slowing certain impulses so that when you act, your actions carry weight and longevity. You are no longer reacting to pressure. You are responding to guidance. This shift protects you from decisions that bring quick gains but long-term loss. God values outcomes that endure. There is a purification happening in your motives. God searches intention before releasing increase. When the heart seeks provision only for status, anxiety follows. But when the heart seeks provision to fulfill purpose, peace governs the process. God is aligning desire with responsibility. You are beginning to want stability more than applause, impact more than image, stewardship more than display. This internal realignment signals readiness. You may sense a growing intolerance for environments that drain you. Converse. Actions that revolve around fear, lack, or bitterness will feel heavy. God is sharpening your sensitivity because what surrounds you influences what flows through you. Protection of atmosphere is part of stewardship. God is teaching you to choose spaces that reinforce faith, clarity, and growth. This is not isolation, it is discernment. Expect your confidence to be tested even as it grows. There will be moments when opportunities appear larger than your comfort zone. Do not confuse discomfort with unqualification. Growth always stretches capacity. God does not call you forward based on comfort. He calls you based on potential. Trust that if the opportunity is before you, the capacity is within you, even if it has not fully surfaced yet. God is also addressing how you perceive time. Scarcity teaches urgency, but abundance requires patience. You are learning to invest time wisely, to plan without anxiety, to rest without guilt. Rest is not laziness, it is trust in motion. God restores clarity during rest because clarity fuels wise action. There will be moments when you are tempted to measure progress solely by numbers. Resist that narrow lens. God measures success by alignment. Numbers follow alignment naturally. Focus on doing what is right at the right pace with the right heart. The results will speak on their own. You are stepping into a season where integrity becomes non-negotiable. Small compromises once justified by survival will no longer sit well with you. Fact is, comfort is guidance. God is elevating your standards because higher levels require cleaner foundations. Integrity attracts trust, and trust attracts opportunity. Notice how your conversations are shifting. You are speaking less about problems and more about possibilities. This is not denial, it is perspective. God is training your mind to see beyond immediate obstacles into long-term outcomes. Vision steadies you when conditions fluctuate. You will also find that gratitude deepens, not loud gratitude, but quiet, steady appreciation. Gratitude that anchors you rather than excites you. This form of gratitude keeps you grounded as provision increases. It reminds you that everything flows from God and returns to purpose. There is a call to mentorship embedded in this season. As you grow, others will watch. Your discipline will speak louder than your words. God often uses example as instruction. Be mindful that how you handle increase teaches others how to trust God through transition. Do not rush the process by seeking validation. Approval from others is unstable currency. God's approval is sufficient. When you move in alignment, affirmation follows naturally. Chasing recognition distracts from responsibility. There may be moments when progress feels invisible. Seeds grow underground before they break the surface. God works deeply before He works visibly. Trust the unseen work. Consistency during invisibility is faith in its purest form. Your sense of identity is anchoring. Deeper. You are no longer defined by outcomes alone. Success does not inflate you. Delay does not diminish you. This stability is crucial because it keeps you steady through fluctuations. God is also refining your listening. Not every opportunity deserves attention. Not every invitation deserves acceptance. Discernment protects momentum. God gives you the wisdom to recognize what aligns and what distracts. As provision increases, so does responsibility for balance. God values wholeness. Growth that costs health, relationships, or peace is not sustainable. God teaches balance because balance preserves longevity. There is a quiet confidence forming, confidence that does not need to announce itself. It shows up in decisions, boundaries, and calm resolve. This confidence is rooted in trust, not control. You are learning that fear is loud but temporary, while faith is quiet but enduring. When you choose faith consistently, fear loses authority. God honors choices that align with trust. This season is not about proving anything. It is about becoming consistent with who you are called to be. As identity stabilizes, provision aligns naturally. Remain attentive, remain grounded, remain open. God is not finished unfolding what has already begun. And what continues to take shape now is guided by wisdom, patience, and alignment that grows deeper with every step. There is a sacred discipline God is forming within you now, and it is the discipline of trust under expansion. Trust is E. AC, when resources are limited because expectations are small. But God is teaching you to trust Him even more as capacity grows. When more flows through your hands, the temptation is to rely on structure, systems, and numbers alone. God is reminding you that structure supports provision, but God remains the source. This awareness keeps your spirit anchored even as your environment changes. You are also being prepared for moments when provision arrives faster than emotional adjustment. Sudden increase can unsettle the mind if the heart is not steady. God is strengthening your inner calm so that when abundance appears, you respond with wisdom rather than impulse. You will not rush to prove anything. You will not feel pressured to display success. Your peace will be your greatest evidence of maturity. God is sharpening your sense of responsibility toward the future. Short-term thinking once felt necessary, but now it feels insufficient. You are beginning to plan with intention, to think in layers, to consider impact beyond immediate gain. This shift is significant because God entrusts generational outcomes to those who think beyond themselves. Provision expands when vision stretches forward. There is also a refining of courage taking place. Courage is not loud risk-taking. It is steady obedience even when outcomes are uncertain. God is inviting you to step into decisions that require faith without recklessness. You are learning to weigh options carefully while still moving for reward. This balance attracts sustainable growth. You may notice that certain habits no longer serve you. God gently removes what drains focus and replaces it with practices that strengthen discipline. Discipline is not restriction, it is direction. God uses discipline to protect momentum. Small, consistent choices are now producing compounded results. Expect moments of testing, not to punish you, but to confirm alignment. Tests reveal what has truly taken root. When pressure comes, your response will surprise you. Where fear once rose, clarity will appear. Where doubt once whispered, confidence will stand firm. This is evidence of internal transformation. God is also restoring dignity to your decision-making. You no longer seek permission to value your time, skills, or effort. This is not pride, it is stewardship. God honors those who honor what He has entrusted to them. Self-respect grounded in humility attracts respect from others. You are learning that growth does not require constant explanation. Silence can be powerful. God sometimes asks you to move quietly so that results speak clearly. Let outcomes communicate what words cannot. Let consistency answer questions that doubt raises. There will be seasons when momentum slows briefly. Do not interpret slowing as stopping. God uses pauses to refine direction. During these moments, reflection sharpens vision. Patience during pauses preserves clarity. You are also becoming more selective with commitments. Saying yes to everything once felt necessary. Now discernment guides your choices. God is teaching you that focus multiplies effectiveness. Concentrated effort produces deeper impact than scattered activity. As provision increases, humility must deepen. Humility is not thinking less of yourself, it is thinking accurately. You recognize that every ability, opportunity, and resource flows from God. This recognition keeps gratitude alive and entitlement distant. There is a growing awareness that peace is more valuable than constant expansion. God teaches that growth must be accompanied by rest. Rest preserves joy. Joy sustains motivation. Without joy, success becomes hollow. You may feel a renewed sense of responsibility toward community. God often increases individuals to strengthen many. Your success is not isolated, it is connected. How you use what you receive can ease burdens beyond your own. God is also refining your listening posture. Not every voice deserves equal weight. Wisdom requires discernment. God's guidance carries clarity, not confusion. Learn to distinguish between noise and instruction. There is a strengthening of resolve happening. You are less swayed by opinions and more anchored in conviction. Conviction guided by wisdom creates stability. Stability invites trust. Trust opens doors. You are learning that fear thrives on imagination, while faith thrives on truth. Truth anchors you when imagination runs wild. God's truth steadies your thoughts and aligns your expectations. As this season unfolds, remain teachable. Growth does not eliminate the need for learning, it increases it. God often teaches through experience, reflection, and quiet insight. Stay attentive. Your journey is becoming evidence that patience partnered with faith produces lasting outcomes. What once felt slow now feels steady. Steadiness outlasts speed. You are not striving for recognition. You are aligning with purpose. Purpose attracts provision naturally. When actions align with purpose, resources follow. Remain grounded, remain grateful, remain focused. What continues to unfold is guided by wisdom, shaped by discipline, and sustained by trust in God, who orders each step with precision and care. Now let this truth settle deeply within you. What God has begun is not fragile. It is not dependent on perfect conditions, constant momentum, or external approval. It is anchored in divine intention. What God establishes, no circumstance can undo. This is why you must walk forward without fear of reversal. Fear belongs to uncertainty, but you are stepping into assurance. Assurance that provision is not accidental. Assurance that growth is not temporary. Assurance that God does not start what He does not intend to sustain. As you move forward, remember that God's timing is never rushed, yet it is never late. Every delay refines you. Every obstacle trains you. Every quiet season strengthened roots you could not see at the time. Now those roots are supporting visible fruit. Do not question the timing anymore. Trust has already replaced doubt. Patience has already done its work. What unfolds next is the natural result of alignment, not a sudden miracle disconnected from your journey. Guard your heart as increase flows. Not because increase is dangerous, but because focus is precious. Distraction is subtle at higher levels. God is calling you to remain centered, anchored, and intentional. Let your decisions continue to reflect wisdom. Let your actions remain guided by purpose. Let your heart stay soft even as your position strengthens. God elevates those who remain teachable. You will encounter moments of awe, moments when you pause and realize how far you have come. In those moments, do not rush past gratitude. Gratitude seals perspective. It keeps you aware that the same God who carried you through uncertainty is the God now guiding you through expansion. Gratitude keeps success from becoming heavy and turns it into joy. Stand firm when old fears try to resurface. They are echoes, not warnings. They belong to seasons that have passed. You are not returning there. God has moved you forward, and forward is where provision flows. Speak with confidence, rooted in truth. Walk with calm, rooted in trust. Decide with clarity, rooted in wisdom. Let your life become a quiet testimony of faithfulness rewarded, patience honored, and alignment fulfilled. Not loud, not boastful, but undeniable. Let stability replace struggle. Let peace replace pressure. Let purpose guide prosperity. God is not merely increasing what you have. God is expanding who you are. And as who you are grows, what you carry will continue to grow with you. This is not the peak. This is the foundation. What lies ahead will require the very strength, wisdom, and humility that have been forming within you all along. And as you step fully into what is unfolding, allow yourself to release the final traces of hesitation. Hesitation was once a shield, but now it is no longer needed. God has brought you to a place where confidence can replace caution and clarity can replace second guessing. You are not moving blindly, you are moving with awareness shaped by experience and faith refined by endurance. Every step forward now carries intention. Let your expectations rise without anxiety. Expectation rooted in trust is not pressure, it is readiness. You are ready to manage what is coming, ready to steward it wisely, ready to remain grounded as it grows. God has already proven that you can handle responsibility without losing humility and progress without losing peace. This is why the increase will feel steady rather than overwhelming. When moments of uncertainty arise, return to stillness. Stillness restores alignment. In stillness, you remember that God remains in control, that outcomes are not dependent on constant effort, and that wisdom often emerges when noise fades. From that place, Decisions become clear and direction becomes firm. Carry forward a posture of calm authority, not forceful, not defensive, but assured. Authority that comes from alignment does not need to announce itself. It is recognized through consistency, integrity, and quiet strength. This authority will guide you through future expansions just as it guided you through preparation. Let your journey continue to reflect balance, ambition anchored in wisdom, growth accompanied by rest, progress guided by purpose. Balance preserves joy, and joy sustains long-term success. God values wholeness, not exhaustion. Above all, remain anchored in trust. Trust that what has begun will continue. Trust that provision will match purpose. Trust that every new level will be met with the wisdom required to sustain it. You are not walking into uncertainty, you are walking into continuity. What unfolds from here will confirm what you have sensed all along, that patience was not wasted, faith was not misplaced, and preparation was not unseen. God has been intentional with every step, and that same intention will continue to guide what comes next. Listen to me carefully. This is not a moment for distraction, not a moment for doubt, not a moment to scroll past as if this is just another voice in a noisy world. Something has been set in motion over your life that you did not start, you did not plan, and you could not have forced no matter how hard you tried. God told me to warn you, because what is coming towards you will feel sudden, overwhelming, and almost unbelievable. You are about to step into a level of provision that will shock even you. But if your spirit is not prepared, what is meant to elevate you can confuse you, and what is meant to bless you can burden you. Pay attention now, because this moment matters more than you realize. There are seasons when God works quietly, invisibly, beneath the surface, and then there are moments when the results appear all at once, like a door swinging open that you did not even know was unlocked. Many of you have been in a hidden season longer than you expected. You prayed, you waited, you endured delays, rejection, misunderstanding, and silence. You asked God why it was taking so long, why others seemed to advance while you remained still, why effort did not immediately produce reward. What you did not see is that God was not delaying you, God was developing you. And now the development phase is ending and the release phase is beginning. Hear this clearly. Sudden wealth is not just about money. It is about responsibility, exposure, pressure, and spiritual weight. God does not elevate carelessly. When God increases, God also tests. When God opens the floodgates, God watches how the vessel holds what is poured in. That is why this warning matters. You are about to experience a shift that will change how people see you, how they speak to you, how they approach you, and even how you see yourself. If your identity is not anchored in God, the blessing itself can become a storm. Some of you have been faithful in little things that no one applauded. You showed integrity when it cost you. You refused shortcuts when compromise was easier. You stayed disciplined when nobody was watching. You honored God in private when there was no reward in public. And now God is saying the harvest will not come drop by drop, it will come in waves. Opportunities will appear suddenly. Doors will open without explanation. Resources will align faster than your logic can process. And you will look around and say, how did this happen so quickly? It happened because God never forgets obedience, even when it looks unrewarded. But let me warn you with love and truth. When sudden increase arrives, it attracts sudden voices. People who ignored you will suddenly notice you. People who doubted you will suddenly celebrate you. People who did not help you build will suddenly want access to what you built. And if you are not discerning, you will confuse attention with alignment. Not everyone who claps for you is assigned to you. Not everyone who praises your success is sent by God. Some are sent to test your humility, your boundaries, and your obedience. God is about to trust you with more, but trust is proven by stewardship, not excitement. Money magnifies what is already inside you. If there is peace, it will multiply peace. If there is fear, it will multiply fear. If there is generosity, it will expand generosity. If there is pride, it will expose pride. That is why preparation is not optional. God is not just changing your bank account. God is refining your character so you do not lose yourself in the process. You must understand this. Sudden wealth will demand sudden decisions. You will not have time to think slowly when opportunities move quickly. That is why your values must already be settled. Decide now who you are before the pressure arrives. Decide now what you will not compromise before temptation presents itself. Decide now that God remains your source, not money, not people, not status. If you do not settle this now, confusion will speak louder than wisdom later. Many people ask God for abundance, but few ask God for the wisdom to handle it. God is not impressed by numbers. God is concerned with direction. Where will this increase lead you? Will it draw you closer to God or distract you from God? Will it make you more generous or more guarded? Will it give you freedom or quietly enslave you to fear of loss? These are not questions to answer later. These are questions to answer now. While your heart is still soft and your spirit still listening, there is another warning you must hear. Sudden elevation exposes unresolved wounds. When money comes quickly, old insecurities surface unexpectedly. The need to prove something, the urge to show others you made it, the temptation to spend for validation rather than purpose, all of these pressures will come. God is saying, heal now. Forgive now, let go now, because you cannot carry emotional debt into financial abundance without consequences. God wants you whole, not just wealthy. You may think becoming a millionaire will solve your problems, but God is reminding you that money is a tool, not a healer. Peace comes from alignment, not from income. Joy comes from purpose, not from possessions. If you do not learn this before the increase, you will chase satisfaction and never catch it. That is why God speaks now, before the breakthrough fully manifests. This is preparation, not punishment. Some of you are about to be entrusted with influence beyond money. Your voice will matter more. Your decisions will affect others. Your example will be watched, and the weight of that influence will require humility. God resists pride but releases favor to those who remain teachable. Stay grounded, stay grateful, stay connected to God, not just in crisis, but in comfort. Comfort is where many lose their discipline. You must also prepare for separation. Elevation always brings distance. Not everyone can go where God is taking you. Some relationships will strain. Not because you became arrogant, but because growth creates difference. Do not shrink to keep others comfortable. Do not sabotage your future to preserve familiarity. God sometimes removes people not as punishment, but as protection. Trust God's pruning even when it hurts. Let me speak directly to your spirit now. This wealth is not just for you. God is positioning you as a channel, not a container. What flows to you is meant to flow through you. If you block the flow with fear or greed, stagnation follows. But if you release with wisdom and obedience, God ensures replenishment. This is how divine increase operates. Movement, not hoarding. Purpose, not panic. There will be moments when you feel unqualified for the level you are entering. You will wonder if you deserve it, if you are ready, if you can sustain it. Remember this, God never calls the ready. God prepares the called. Your responsibility is not to feel worthy, but to remain obedient. God supplies what obedience demands. Stay in alignment and provision will follow. As the increase arrives, your time will be tested. Your schedule will fill, your attention will be pulled in multiple directions. Guard your inner life fiercely. Do not let success steal your stillness. Do not let busyness replace awareness of God. The quieter you stay inside, the clearer your decisions will be outside. Noise confuses purpose. Stillness strengthens it. There is also a warning about fear. Fear of losing what you gained, fear of making wrong decisions, fear of being exposed. Fear can quietly control wealthy people more than poverty ever did. God does not want you rich and anxious. God wants you confident and anchored. Trust that the same God who brought the increase can sustain it. Control is an illusion. Trust is strength. You are entering a season where generosity will become a language you speak fluently. Not impulsively, not emotionally, but wisely and intentionally. Giving aligned with purpose multiplies impact. God will show you where to sow, when to sow, and how to steward what remains. Listen carefully. Not every need is your assignment. Discernment protects resources. As I speak this, something is settling in your spirit. A mix of excitement and seriousness. That is good. That is awareness awakening. God never blesses blindly. God prepares thoroughly. This warning is evidence that God cares about your future more than your comfort. This is not about hype. This is about readiness. You will soon look back at this moment and realize it was a turning point. Not because money arrived, but because clarity did. Because alignment did. Because you chose preparation over pride. Many people receive blessings, few sustain them. You are being taught how to sustain what is coming. Stay humble when praise gets loud. Stay disciplined when options multiple. Why? Stay generous when abundance feels secure. Stay obedient when distractions appear attractive. This is how you remain under God's guidance, even in prosperity. And finally, remember this truth deeply. God is not elevating you to impress others. God is positioning you to fulfill an assignment that requires resources. When the money comes, ask not, what can I buy? But what does God want to build? Purpose gives wealth direction, and direction gives wealth meaning. What is coming is real, it is close, it is sudden, and it is powerful. But you are not stepping into it unprepared. This warning itself is preparation. Receive it with humility, respond with obedience, and stay anchored in God as everything around you begins to change. What God is about to do will require a new level of spiritual maturity from you. Because increase without maturity creates imbalance, and imbalance eventually leads to collapse. God is not interested in temporary elevation. God is establishing longevity. That is why this next season will stretch your thinking, challenge your habits, and demand that you see yourself differently. You can no longer think like someone waiting for provision when you are becoming someone entrusted with provision. Your mindset must shift before your surroundings do, or you will feel overwhelmed instead of empowered. There is a discipline God is awakening in you now, a discipline of listening. When life was slow, you had time to think. When resources were limited, decisions were simple. But when speed increases and options multiply, only those who hear God clearly will move wisely. God will speak in subtle directions, quiet restraints, inner nudges that do not always make sense to logic. Ignore those promptings and you risk costly detours. Honor them and you will experience protection that cannot be explained by strategy alone. Do not underestimate the spiritual assistance that often follows divine promotion. When God elevates someone, pressure increases, expectations increase, and unseen opposition intensifies. Not because you are weak, but because what you carry matters. This is why you must strengthen your inner life now. Build resilience in faith. Develop consistency in obedience. Make alignment with God your daily anchor, not an occasional habit. Stability in God is what allows you to stand firm when the winds of change blow strongly around you. God is also preparing you for moments of silence, moments when people expect answers from you, but God instructs you to wait. Silence is not absence, silence is strategy. Not every move needs explanation. Not every opportunity needs acceptance. Discernment will sometimes require you to say no to good things in order to protect the best things. Trust that restraint is as powerful as action when it is guided by God. As abundance approaches, your relationship with time will change. Time will become more valuable than money. Guard it carefully. Do not allow urgency to replace intentionality. God does not rush wisdom. Even when blessings arrive suddenly, God's guidance remains steady and precise. Learn to pause before decisions. Learn to step back and observe. Wisdom often whispers while impatience shouts. You may find that some people misunderstand your new boundaries. They may say you have changed. In truth, you have grown. Growth requires structure. Structure requires boundaries. Boundary. E is protect purpose. You are not obligated to explain every decision or justify every limit. Your responsibility is to remain obedient to God, not agreeable to everyone. There is also a deeper work happening beneath the surface. God is redefining your sense of security. Security rooted in money is fragile. Security rooted in God is unshakable. God may allow moments where you realize how quickly circumstances can shift, not to scare you, but to remind you where true stability comes from. When God is your foundation, fluctuation does not control you. Prepare your heart for gratitude at a new level. Gratitude in scarcity is faith. Gratitude in abundance is wisdom. Never lose the ability to recognize God as the source of every good thing. Gratitude keeps your spirit soft, your perspective clear, and your joy intact. It reminds you that nothing you have is self-created and nothing you steward is self-owned. God will also begin to sharpen your vision. You will start to see possibilities where others see limits. You will recognize needs others overlook. This is not coincidence, this is assignment. Wealth aligned with vision becomes impact. Impact aligned with God becomes legacy. Think beyond comfort. Think beyond status. Think beyond now. God is inviting you to build something that outlives applause. At times, the responsibility may feel heavy. You may feel the weight of decisions, the pressure of expectation, the loneliness of leadership. In those moments, return to God, not for our solutions alone, but for strength. God does not just guide your steps. God sustains your soul. Do not carry burdens you were never meant to carry alone. Be aware of comparison. It will try to sneak in quietly. Comparison steals contentment and distorts purpose. God's plan for you is not measured against anyone else's outcome. Your path is custom designed. Your pace is intentional. Your assignment is specific. Focus on obedience, not imitation. There will be times when generosity will stretch you, not because you lack resources, but because obedience challenges comfort. Trust God in those moments. What you release in faith never leaves your life. It changes form. God sees every act of obedience, especially the ones done quietly, without recognition. As your influence grows, humility must grow faster. Humility is not weakness, it is clarity. It keeps you teachable. It keeps you aware. It keeps you aligned. God elevates those who remain small in their own eyes and large in their trust in God. This season will require emotional intelligence. You will encounter praise and criticism at levels you have never known. Do not let either define you. Praise can inflate ego. Criticism can deflate confidence. Both are distractions if you allow them to shape your identity. Let God alone be the voice that defines you. God is also calling you to rest differently. Rest is no longer escape. Rest is strategy. Burnout is not a badge of honor. God designed rest to preserve clarity and strength. Honor rest as an act of trust, knowing that provision does not depend on constant motion, but on divine alignment. As everything begins to shift, remember why God chose you. Not because you were perfect, but because you were willing to listen, willing to obey, willing to trust when outcomes were uncertain. That willingness still matters. Stay available, stay responsive, stay anchored. The wealth coming towards you will change your environment, but God intends to transform your impact. This is not the end of the journey, it is the beginning of a greater responsibility. Walk into it with reverence, confidence, and unwavering trust in God. What lies ahead will require courage, wisdom, restraint, and faith at a level you have not yet known. But you will not walk into it alone. The same God who prepared you in the hidden season will guide you in the visible one. Remain faithful, remain grounded, remain surrendered. Everything else will fall into place. There is a refinement God brings before public reward, and it often feels like pressure before it feels like privilege. What you interpret as tension is actually alignment taking place. God is calibrating your inner compass so that when the pace accelerates, you do not lose direction. This is why certain comforts are being disturbed, certain routines disrupted, and certain assumptions challenged. God is training you to move by discernment rather than habit, by obedience rather than impulse. You must understand that Al reveals leadership. Money will place you in rooms where your words carry weight and your silence carries meaning. God is teaching you how to speak with wisdom and restraint, how to listen without reacting, how to respond without being provoked. Leadership is not volume, leadership is clarity. When God gives you influence, God expects you to steward it with dignity and intention. There will be moments when God asks you to slow down, even as everything around you speeds up. This is not contradiction, this is protection. Speed without insight creates mistakes that cost more to fix than to avoid. God's timing is precise. Learn to trust pauses as much as progress. A delayed decision guided by God is safer than a rushed decision driven by excitement. As increase unfolds, you will encounter temptation not just to spend, but to prove. Prove your worth, prove your success, prove your arrival. Resist this urge. Your value was never in question with God. Validation through display is a trap that drains purpose. Let your life speak quietly and consistently. Substance always outlasts spectacle. God will also begin to test your loyalty, not to people, but to principles. There will be moments when bending values seems profitable, when compromise appears efficient. These moments are checkpoints. Passing them protects the future God is building through you. Short-term gain achieved through compromise produces long-term loss. Integrity may cost you something now, but it will save you Eve. Writing later, you are also being prepared for multiplication of responsibility. One opportunity will lead to many. One door will open into several rooms. Without focus, expansion becomes fragmentation. God is teaching you to prioritize purpose over pressure. Just because you can do many things does not mean you should. Assignment determines action. Let God define your yes and your no. Do not neglect your inner dialogue. The voice you listen to most shapes the decisions you make fastest. Replace fear-based thoughts with trust-based awareness. God did not bring you this far to abandon you at the threshold. Confidence rooted in God is calm, steady, and unshaken. It does not rush to impress. It moves with quiet authority. There will be seasons when obedience feels lonely. You may stand alone in decisions others do not understand. Remember that isolation for alignment is temporary, but regret from compromise is lasting. God often separates before God multiplies. Trust the process even when affirmation is scarce. As resources increase, generosity will require discernment. Giving without wisdom creates dependency. Giving with wisdom creates empowerment. Ask God not only how much to give, but how to give. Strategy guided by compassion produces lasting impact. God cares about outcomes, not just intentions. You may feel the weight of expectation from others who assume your success entitles them to access. Learn to distinguish compassion from obligation. You are called to serve. Why? Purpose, not to carry burdens God did not assign. Saying no with clarity can be an act of obedience. God will also deepen your understanding of contentment. Contentment is not settling, it is stability. It allows you to enjoy progress without being enslaved by it. When contentment anchors you, ambition becomes healthy rather than consuming. God desires you to advance without anxiety. Be attentive to how success affects your listening. Pride dulls perception. Humility sharpens it. Stay curious. Stay teachable. Stay aware that wisdom is not proven by arrival, but by continued learning. God speaks to those who remain receptive, not those who assume they already know. As visibility increases, so will scrutiny. People will interpret your actions through their own assumptions. Do not let misinterpretation pull you into defensiveness. Let consistency be your response. Truth does not need constant explanation. It needs time to be revealed. God is also preparing you to think generationally. Wealth that serves only one lifetime is limited. Wealth aligned with purpose extends influence beyond years. Ask God how what you steward today can create stability tomorrow for others, not just yourself. Legacy begins with foresight. There will be moments when fear tries to disguise itself as wisdom, urging you to hold back, to play small, to protect excessively. True wisdom does not shrink, it aligns. Courage guided by God is not reckless, it is obedient. Step forward when God directs. And if certainty feels incomplete, your prayer life will evolve. You will pray less for survival and more for stewardship, less for escape and more for alignment. This shift is maturity. God is inviting you into partnership, not dependency. Trust grows when responsibility increases. Remember that rest remains essential even as momentum builds. Rest restores perspective. Without it, success becomes noise. God designed rhythm to preserve clarity. Honor it, and you will sustain what others burn out trying to maintain. There will be moments of awe when you realize how far God has brought you. Receive those moments with gratitude, not pride. Gratitude keeps the heart open. Pride closes it. An open heart continues to receive guidance. As this season unfolds, keep your spirit anchored, your mind disciplined, and your actions aligned. What God is doing through you is deliberate, measured, and meaningful. Walk forward with confidence, not because of what you have gained, but because of who guides you. There is a refining fire that comes before lasting fruit, and it does not burn to destroy, it burns to purify. God is strengthening your ability to remain steady when emotions fluctuate and circumstances test your resolve. This is the season where impulse must bow to wisdom and reaction must surrender to discernment. What God is entrusting to you cannot be managed by excitement alone. It requires composure, foresight, and unwavering trust. You are being trained to distinguish between end, opportunity, and assignment. Not every open door is meant for you, even if it looks profitable. God's favor does not remove the need for discernment, it intensifies it. The ability to walk away from something attractive because it is not aligned will protect you more than the ability to chase everything that shines. Discipline is a form of worship when it is rooted in obedience to God. God is also preparing you for moments when success does not feel celebratory but heavy. There will be days when you realize that progress carries responsibility and responsibility carries weight. In those moments, remember that God does not place burdens without also providing strength. You are not expected to carry the future alone. Dependence on God is not weakness, it is wisdom. As your capacity grows, your patience must grow with it. Patience is not delay. Patience is control. God often withholds the final piece of clarity until obedience is demonstrated with what you already know. Move faithfully with the instruction you have, and further direction will follow. Faithfulness unlocks insight. There will be times when you must make decisions that are unpopular but necessary. Leadership guided by God is not driven by approval, it is anchored in conviction. Do not measure success by applause, measure it by peace. Peace is the confirmation that alignment remains intact even when pressure increases. God will sharpen your sense of accountability. You will become more aware that what you do privately affects what you carry publicly. Integrity is built when no one is watching. Guard your private life with the same seriousness as your public actions. What is unseen sustains what is visible. Be prepared for seasons where progress feels quiet. Not every advance is loud. Some of the most significant growth happens in stillness. Trust the unseen work of God. Roots grow underground before fruit appears above ground. Stability precedes visibility. God is also teaching you to release control over outcomes. Planning is wise, but obsession is bondage. Do your part with excellence, then release the results into God's hands. Anxiety is a signal that trust has been replaced with fear. Return to trust. God does not fail in fulfillment. As influence expands, your words will carry more weight. Speak with intention. Words can build or fracture, inspire or intimidate. Let your speech be measured, honest, and purposeful. God listens not only to what you say to others, but to how you speak to yourself. Align your inner language with faith, not doubt. You will encounter moments where generosity challenges logic. In those moments, remember that provision does not decrease through obedience. It is refined through it. God honors faith expressed through action. Obedience creates space for continued flow. There may be times when you feel misunderstood, even misjudged. Do not rush to defend your character. Let consistency speak. Time reveals truth more clearly than argument ever could. God is your vindicator. You are also being prepared to recognize when to lead and when to follow. Authority rooted in God knows when to step forward and when to step back. Pride resists instruction. Humility welcomes it. Stay humble enough to learn and confident enough to act when directed. As you walk deeper into this season, the temptation to self-identify by achievement will arise. Resist it. You are not your success, and you are not your resources. Your identity remains anchored in God alone. When identity is secure, success becomes a tool rather than a trap. God is teaching you to value alignment over acceleration. Faster is not always better. Sustainable progress outlasts rapid gain. Trust the pace God sets. There is no competition in purpose. You may find that your definition of wealth evolves. Wealth will no longer be measured only by numbers, but by impact, freedom, and peace. This shift is evidence of growth. God expands your understanding so that your pursuit remains healthy. As this unfolding continues, keep returning to gratitude. Gratitude realigns perspective. It keeps the heart tender and the spirit receptive. Gratitude reminds you that every step forward is grace, not entitlement. Remain attentive, remain grounded, remain obedient. God is not finished shaping what is being revealed through you, and what is being revealed is only a fraction of what has been prepared. There is a deeper humility God is cultivating within you, one that is not performative, but rooted in awareness. This humility understands that success does not make you independent of God, it makes you more dependent. The higher you are lifted, the clearer it becomes that stability comes from submission, not self-sufficiency. God is teaching you to kneel inwardly, even as you stand outwardly with authority. You are entering a phase where discernment must operate faster than emotion. Emotional reactions will try to hijack clarity, especially when stakes are high and visibility is intense. God is sharpening your ability to respond from conviction rather than impulse. When emotions rise, pause. When opinions multiply, listen. When pressure mounts, anchor yourself in God. Stillness is not retreat, it is recalibration. God is also preparing you for seasons of stewardship that require courage rather than comfort. You will be asked to invest in places where returns are not immediate, to build structures that take time to mature. Patience will be tested, but patience partnered with obedience produces outcomes that haste cannot achieve. Trust the long view. God sees even when you only see the next step. As provision increases, clarity about purpose becomes non-negotiable. Without purpose, abundance becomes distraction. God is aligning your resources with intention so that every decision serves a larger narrative. Ask yourself often whether your actions are feeding momentary desire or eternal impact. Purpose keeps wealth from drifting. You may experience moments where solitude becomes necessary. Solitude is not isolation, it is intentional withdrawal for alignment. God often speaks most clearly when noise is reduced. Protect those moments. They will restore perspective when demands grow heavy and expectations grow loud. God is also strengthening your resilience against disappointment. Not every plan will unfold perfectly. Not every investment will succeed. Failure is not disqualification, it is instruction. Learn quickly, adjust humbly, and move forward without carrying shame. God redeems lessons as effectively as victories. There will be opportunities to lead by example rather than instruction. People will watch how you handle pressure, how you treat others when you have leverage, how you remain grounded when success surrounds you. Your actions will speak louder than your explanations. Let integrity guide every interaction. God is refining your relationship with risk. Fear-based avoidance limits growth, while reckless ambition endangers stability. Wisdom guided by God navigates the space between caution and courage. Take steps of faith that are informed by discernment, not driven by anxiety or pride. You are also being taught to recognize seasons of release. Holding on to what God asks you to let go of creates stagnation. Release is not loss, it is transition. Trust that God removes to reposition and ends to begin anew. Obedience sometimes requires letting go of what once worked. As your capacity expands, compassion must expand with it. Success should soften your heart, not harden it. Remember where you came from. Remember the struggles that shaped you. Let empathy inform your decisions so that progress never comes at the cost of humanity. God is training you to respond to uncertainty with faith rather than control. There will be moments when outcomes are unclear and paths seem unmarked. This is where trust matures. Faith is not certainty of outcome, it is confidence in God's guidance. Walk forward even when visibility is partial. You may find that your priorities reorganize themselves naturally. What once seemed urgent will lose importance. What once seemed distant will demand attention. This is alignment taking place. Allow it. Growth often rearranges what you value. God is also calling you to consistency. Peaks are celebrated, but consistency sustains. Daily obedience builds foundations that occasional intensity cannot replace. Stay faithful in routines. Stay disciplined in small decisions. They compound into stability. As influence grows, so does responsibility for fairness and justice. Power tests character more than lack ever could. Use authority to uplift rather than dominate. God watches how you treat those who cannot repay you. Compassion is a measure of true strength. You will encounter moments where gratitude feels challenging despite abundance. Moments when expectations overshadow appreciation. Return intentionally to gratitude. Gratitude recalibrates focus and restores joy. It reminds you that what you steward is a gift, not an entitlement. God is also refining your sense of timing. Knowing when to act and when to wait requires sensitivity. Timing can elevate a good decision into a great one. Impatience can diminish potential. Ask God for timing as earnestly as you ask for direction. As this journey continues, understand that preparation never truly ends. Each level introduces new lessons, new responsibilities, new opportunities to trust. Remain flexible, remain teachable, remain anchored in God. What unfolds ahead will stretch your faith and deepen your understanding of dependence. You are not being led into chaos, but into order, not into confusion, but into clarity. Stay present, stay aligned, stay faithful to God as everything around you continues to unfold. Listen to me carefully, because this is not a casual message, and this is not a gentle whisper meant for the distracted heart. This is a divine interruption meant to shake you awake, because God is about to bless you in front of the whole world, and if you are not ready in your spirit, you may misunderstand what is happening when it begins. You have cried in private. You have wrestled in silence. You have questioned in the midnight hours when no one saw your tears. And now God says the season of hidden struggle is giving way to visible evidence. What God is about to do in your life will not be done in a corner, and it will not be explained away as coincidence. It will be unmistakable, undeniable, and undeniable proof that God has been working behind the scenes while people were counting you out. There are moments in life when God blesses quietly, when the increase is internal, when the strength is being built without applause. But there are other moments when God blesses publicly, deliberately, and boldly, so that even those who doubted his hand on your life are forced to acknowledge that something beyond human effort has taken place. This is that kind of moment. God is preparing to display his power through your obedience, his favor through your endurance, and his faithfulness through your patience. You did not arrive here by accident. You were positioned here by God, shaped by pressure, refined by delay, and strengthened by resistance, so that when the blessing comes, you will be able to carry it without breaking. Understand this truth deeply in your spirit. Public blessing always follows private alignment. God never exposes what he has not first prepared. The reason the waiting felt so long is because God was not just preparing the blessing, he was preparing you. He was teaching you how to stand when people misunderstand you, how to remain faithful when progress feels invisible, how to trust when answers are delayed. You thought the delay was punishment, but it was protection. You thought the silence meant abandonment, but it was actually divine concentration. God was focusing on you, shaping your character, so that when the world sees the blessing, you will not lose your humility or your dependence on Him. Many people want public victory without private surrender. They want the reward without the refining, the platform without the process, the recognition without the responsibility. But God does not work that way. God blesses in stages, and every stage has a purpose. The stage of obscurity taught you endurance. The stage of struggle taught you humility. The stage of waiting taught you faith. Now you are approaching the stage of manifestation, where what God has planted in the unseen will rise into visibility. When that happens, people will ask questions. They will wonder how you did it, where it came from, why it happened so suddenly, but you will know the truth. You will know that nothing about this was sudden. It was prepared, cultivated, and timed by God. There is something powerful about a blessing that arrives after endurance. It carries weight. It carries authority. It carries testimony. God is not blessing you to impress people. God is blessing you to demonstrate His faithfulness. Your life is becoming a message without words, a living declaration that God still rewards trust, obedience, and perseverance. The same people who overlooked you will study you. The same people who dismissed you will reference you. The same people who doubted you will quote you. Not because you became perfect, but because God remained faithful. Do not be surprised when the blessing attracts attention. Light always draws eyes. Favor always provokes reaction. When God lifts you, it exposes the hearts of those watching. Some will celebrate genuinely, others will question silently, and some will feel uncomfortable because your elevation reminds them of what they neglected. But you must not shrink back when the spotlight appears. You must not apologize for what God has done. Humility does not mean hiding the work of God. Humility means giving God the credit openly and without fear. When God blesses you in front of the world, it is not arrogance to stand confidently, it is obedience to acknowledge the source. God is also teaching you how to carry success without losing your soul. Many people are destroyed not by failure, but by sudden visibility. God is steadying you now, grounding you now, reminding you that your identity is not in applause, numbers, or recognition. Your identity is anchored in your relationship with Him. When the blessing comes, you will not chase validation because you already know who you are in God. When opportunities multiply, you will not compromise your values because you understand that favor is sustained by integrity. God is not just elevating you, He is establishing you. There were moments when you felt unseen, when you wondered if your efforts mattered, when you questioned whether your obedience was worth the cost. God saw every choice. God recorded every act of faith. God honored every sacrifice. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was forgotten. The blessing that is coming carries compensation for what you endured. God is not only restoring what was lost, He is multiplying what remains. What looked like setback was actually set up. What felt like rejection was redirection. God was moving you away from environments that could not sustain your future blessing. When God blesses you publicly, it is also a form of protection. Visibility under God's covering is safer than obscurity without purpose. God is positioning you where your influence can be multiplied, where your voice can reach further, where your example can inspire others who are still in the waiting season. Your breakthrough is not just about you. It is connected to people who are watching your journey quietly, drawing strength from your persistence. God is using your life as evidence that waiting does not mean denial and delay does not mean defeat. You must understand that public blessing also requires private discipline. As God opens doors, you must guard your heart. As resources increase, you must protect your humility. As recognition grows, you must deepen your prayer. The higher God lifts you, the more essential your connection with Him becomes. Success without God is fragile, but success anchored in God is unshakable. God is teaching you to seek Him more, not less, as the blessing unfolds. There is a divine order to this season. God is aligning people, opportunities, and circumstances to converge at the right moment. Things that seemed unrelated will suddenly make sense. Conversations will open doors. Delays will reveal purpose. God is orchestrating a testimony that cannot be denied. When the world sees what God has done, they will not be able to reduce it to luck or timing. They will recognize consistency, favor, and grace at work. This is not about proving anything to anyone. This is about revealing the faithfulness of God through your life. Do not underestimate the power of obedience in obscurity. That is where foundations are built. That is where character is formed. That is where faith becomes real. God trusts you with visibility because you proved faithful without it. You honored God when no one was watching, and now God is honoring you where everyone can see. This is the law of spiritual increase. Faithfulness attracts favor. Consistency invites elevation. Obedience unlocks blessing. There will be moments when the blessing feels overwhelming, when responsibility increases, when expectations rise. In those moments, remember who brought you here. Remember the prayers you whispered. Remember the nights you cried. Remember the lessons you learned. Let gratitude anchor you. Let humility guide you. Let trust sustain you. God did not bring you this far to abandon you now. The same God who carried you through the process will guide you through the platform. God is also restoring your confidence. There were times when disappointment made you doubt yourself, when repeated delays made you question your worth. God is healing that. God is rebuilding your confidence, not in your ability, but in His presence within you. When you walk in alignment with God, confidence becomes natural. You do not need to compete. You do not need to compare. You do not need to rush. What God has for you cannot be stolen, delayed by others, or diminished by circumstances. Public blessing does not mean a perfect life. Challenges will still come. But now you will face them with authority. You will not panic the way you used to. You will not fear the way you once did. You have seen God move too many times to doubt Him now. Your faith has history. Your trust has evidence. Your confidence is rooted in experience, not theory. God has proven Himself to you in the valley, and now He is revealing Himself through you on the mountain. There is also a call to maturity in this season. God is inviting you to think bigger, to see further, to dream without limitation. Small thinking cannot sustain large blessing. God is expanding your vision so that your mindset matches your assignment. You are being prepared to handle influence, to steward resources, to manage growth. God does not waste blessing on unprepared minds. He expands your capacity before He expands your territory. As the blessing unfolds, remain sensitive to God's voice. Do not let noise drown out guidance. Do not let pressure override discernment. God will continue to lead you step by step. The same voice that guided you in the quiet season will guide you in the visible one. Stay teachable, stay prayerful, stay grounded. Visibility does not replace dependency, it intensifies it. You are stepping into a season where gratitude must be intentional. Celebrate without becoming careless. Rejoice without becoming distracted. Enjoy the blessing without forgetting the giver. Gratitude keeps the heart soft. Gratitude keeps the spirit aligned. Gratitude keeps the blessing flowing. God resists pride but honors humility. As long as your heart remains surrendered, God's favor will remain active. There will be moments when people project their expectations onto you, when they assume access to your time, your energy, your resources. Learn discernment. Not every opportunity is an assignment. Not every request is a responsibility. God will give you wisdom to protect what He has entrusted to you. Boundaries are not selfish, they are stewardship. God is teaching you to guard your purpose so that the blessing remains effective. Remember that God's blessing carries responsibility to reflect His character. Integrity must remain your foundation. Truth must remain your language. Compassion must remain your posture. The world does not need another successful person. It needs visible evidence of God's goodness expressed through a surrendered life. Your success becomes powerful when it points beyond you. You are entering a season where your story will speak before you do. People will see consistency, resilience, and grace in your journey. They will ask how you remained steady, how you endured, how you stayed faithful. Your life will answer before your words ever do. God is using you as a living testimony, a visible reminder that faithfulness still matters. Stay patient even in blessing. Growth continues even after breakthrough. God is not finished with you. What is coming now is not the end, it is the next phase. There are deeper lessons, wider influence, and greater responsibility ahead. Remain teachable, remain open, remain dependent. God's work in you is ongoing. When you look back, you will see that every delay protected you, every denial redirected you, every struggle strengthened you. Nothing was wasted. God does not waste pain. He transforms it into purpose. He turns pressure into preparation. He turns waiting into wisdom. What the world is about to see is the result of a process they never witnessed. Walk forward with confidence, not arrogance. Speak with boldness, not pride. Stand firm without becoming rigid. Let God's presence be your anchor. Let His guidance be your compass. Let His favor be your covering. You are not walking into this season alone. God goes before you, stands beside you, and remains within you. The blessing coming into your life will stretch you, but it will not break you. It will elevate you, but it will not isolate you. It will expose you, but it will also protect you. God's hand is steady. God's timing is precise. God's intention is pure. Trust Him fully as the doors open wider. You are about to experience moments that feel unreal, opportunities that feel undeserved, and favor that feels overwhelmed. Do not question it. Receive it with humility. Steward it with wisdom. Honor God openly. The world may see the result, but you know the source. You know the journey. You know the cost. Let your heart remain aligned. Let your spirit remain sensitive. Let your focus remain clear. God is blessing you in front of the whole world, not to elevate your name, but to reveal His faithfulness, His power, and His goodness through a life that chose trust over fear, obedience over comfort, and faith over doubt. As this season unfolds, God is also refining your discernment, because visibility requires wisdom. When God elevates you before the eyes of many, not every voice around you will carry truth, and not every smile will carry sincerity. God is sharpening your inner awareness so you can distinguish between alignment and distraction. You will sense when a door is sent by God and when it is merely attractive noise. This discernment is part of the blessing. God does not only give you what to step into, He gives you clarity about what to walk away from. That clarity will protect your peace and preserve the purpose attached to your elevation. God is reminding you that blessing does not remove responsibility, it multiplies it. The higher you rise, the more intentional you must become with your words, your decisions, and your priorities. God is calling you to live with awareness, knowing that your actions now carry influence beyond yourself. People will learn from how you respond under pressure, how you remain calm amid praise, how you stay grounded when opportunities overflow. Your life is becoming a mirror that reflects God's character to those who are watching, whether they admit it or not. There is also a deeper work happening within you. God is healing old wounds that once limited your confidence. There were moments when rejection left scars, when betrayal made you guarded, when disappointment made you cautious. God is not ignoring those areas, He is restoring them. He is teaching you how to trust again without becoming naive, how to open your heart without losing wisdom, how to love without losing discernment. This inner healing is essential because unhealed pain can sabotage visible blessing. God heals before He reveals. As God blesses you publicly, you will notice a shift in how you see yourself. Not because of external validation, but because of internal assurance. You will stand differently. You will speak differently. You will make decisions from a place of confidence rather than fear. This confidence is not pride, it is alignment. When you know God is with you, hesitation loses its grip. Doubt no longer dominates your thoughts. You move forward with quiet authority, knowing that God's hand is guiding your steps. God is also expanding your capacity to handle pressure. Visibility comes with scrutiny. Growth comes with expectation. But God is strengthening your emotional and spiritual resilience so that pressure does not crush you. Instead, it sharpens you. You will learn to respond instead of react, to listen instead of assume, to remain steady instead of defensive. This maturity is a sign that God trusts you with influence. He is not just blessing your hands, He is stabilizing your heart. In this season, God is inviting you to let go of comparison completely. When God blesses you openly, comparison becomes a distraction that steals joy and clouds focus. God's work in your life is unique. Your path cannot be measured against someone else's journey. Your timing cannot be judged by someone else's pace. God is teaching you to celebrate others without shrinking yourself, to honor other victories without questioning your own. Confidence rooted in God has no need to compete. You will also notice that God is simplifying your life. As blessings increase, God often removes unnecessary complexity. He helps you prioritize what truly matters. He draws your attention back to essentials: integrity, faithfulness, gratitude, obedience. God knows that cluttered lives struggle to sustain clarity. He is aligning your focus so that success does not scatter you. Simplification is not loss, it is refinement. God is preparing you for moments when silence will be more powerful than explanation. Not everyone deserves access to your story. Not every misunderstanding requires correction. God is teaching you restraint, the strength to let Him defend you, the wisdom to trust His timing, the humility to remain calm when questioned. When God blesses you publicly, your peace will become a testimony louder than any argument. There will be moments when the blessing forces you to confront fear you did not know was still present. Fear of failure, fear of disappointing others, fear of not sustaining what God has given. God is addressing those fears now. He is reminding you that the same power that opened the door will keep it open. Sustainability does not come from striving, it comes from surrender. God is not asking you to carry the future alone. He is asking you to walk with Him daily. God is also reshaping your definition of success. It will no longer be about approval or applause. It will be about alignment and impact. Success will mean sleeping with peace, making decisions without compromise, and living without inner conflict. God's blessing adds no sorrow because it is rooted in purpose. When God is at the center, success becomes stable, not stressful. As people begin to notice the change in your life, some will seek advice, others will seek access, and some will seek explanation. Let God guide your responses. Sometimes your story will encourage. Sometimes your silence will protect. Sometimes your example will teach more than words ever could. God will give you wisdom to know when to speak and when to remain quiet. You are also entering a season where generosity will flow naturally, not just with resources, but with encouragement, time, and wisdom. God blesses hands that remain open. As He pours into you, He will invite you to pour into others. Giving will not feel like loss, it will feel like alignment. Generosity keeps the heart free and the spirit grounded. God is reminding you that your worth was never defined by struggle, and it will not be defined by success. Your value comes from being known by Him. This truth will anchor you. When attention increases and opinions multiply, you will not rise or fall based on what people say, because your identity is rooted deeper than public perception. God is your reference point, not the crowd. In moments when the weight of responsibility feels heavy, remember that God equips what He appoints. He never sends without supplying. He never calls without covering. The pressure you feel is not a sign of inadequacy, it is evidence of growth. God stretches what He plans to expand. Trust the stretching. It is making room for more. God is also teaching you patience within progress. Even as blessings manifest, there will still be processes. Even as doors open, there will still be waiting. This does not mean stagnation, it means development. God grows layers within you, even while He grows visibility around you. Do not rush what God is still shaping. Every stage has purpose. You may notice that your prayers are changing. They're becoming less about survival and more about stewardship, less about escape and more about wisdom. This is maturity. God is shifting your focus from what you need to what you are called to manage. He is trusting you with greater responsibility because you have proven faithful with less. God is also reminding you that rest is not optional. In seasons of increase, rest becomes a spiritual discipline. It protects clarity. It preserves joy. It keeps your spirit sensitive. God does not glorify exhaustion. He invites balance. Trusting God includes trusting Him enough to pause, to breathe, to be still. When challenges arise, and they will, face them with the confidence of experience. You have seen God move before. You have survived what once felt impossible. Let memory strengthen faith. Let past victories remind you that God is consistent. The same God who carried you through hidden seasons will guide you through visible ones. Your life is becoming evidence that obedience has reward, that patience has payoff, that faith has fruit. People will draw hope from your journey, even if they never say it aloud. God is using you as a signal in a world filled with doubt, a reminder that He still works, still lifts, still restores. Remain anchored, remain grateful, remain surrendered. God is not finished. What you see now is only the beginning of a greater unfolding. As long as your heart stays aligned, your spirit stays humble, and your trust stays rooted in God, the blessing will not only be seen, it will endure. In this unfolding chapter, God is also teaching you how to remain rooted when the ground shifts beneath your feet. Public blessing often rearranges environments, relationships, and routines. Familiar patterns will change and comfort zones will dissolve. God is not destabilizing you, He is repositioning you. He is teaching you to draw stability from His presence rather than from predictability. When your trust is anchored in God, change no longer threatens you, it advances you. God is also sharpening your obedience at a deeper level. Before, obedience was about endurance. Now it is about precision. God is guiding you with detail, teaching you to listen closely, to move intentionally, to act with discernment. Small decisions will carry great weight in this season. God's guidance will not always be loud, but it will always be clear to a heart that stays attentive. Sensitivity to God's voice will become one of your greatest strengths. As visibility increases, God will confront any hidden motives that no longer serve your purpose. This is not condemnation, it is refinement. God removes what could contaminate the blessing. He aligns your intentions so that success does not distort your heart. You will find yourself desiring depth over display, substance over applause, meaning over attention. This internal shift is proof that God is maturing you for longevity, not just momentary impact. God is also preparing you to face moments of misunderstanding with grace. When God blesses openly, people often assume they know your story without knowing your sacrifice. They see the result, not the process. God is teaching you not to carry the burden of being fully understood. Peace does no come from explanation. It comes from alignment. Let God be your vindicator. Time will reveal what words never could. There will be seasons within this blessing where solitude becomes necessary. Not isolation, but intentional withdrawal. God will draw you aside to recalibrate your spirit, to renew your strength, to realign your focus. Solitude will not feel lonely, it will feel sacred. In those moments, God will speak with clarity, reminding you why He elevated you and who you are becoming through it. God is also stretching your faith to believe beyond what you can see. Even with visible blessing, God will challenge you to trust Him for what has not yet manifested. He does this so that faith remains active, not passive. Comfort can dull dependence if left unchecked. God keeps your faith alive by continually inviting you to trust Him at deeper levels. You may encounter resistance that surprises you. Not everyone will celebrate your elevation. Some will feel threatened, others will feel exposed. Do not internalize their reaction. Resistance does not negate blessing, it often confirms it. God is teaching you not to seek approval from those who are uncomfortable with your obedience. Stay focused, stay grounded. Let God handle opposition. God is also developing your patience in success. When doors open quickly, it can create pressure to move faster than wisdom allows. God will slow you down internally, even when opportunities accelerate externally. He will teach you to pause, to reflect, to consult Him before acting. Speed without direction leads to regret. Progress with God leads to peace. As your influence expands, God will call you to lead by example, not control. Authority rooted in God is gentle yet firm, humble yet confident. You will lead through consistency, integrity, and faithfulness. People will follow not because they are forced, but because they are inspired by the steadiness of your character. God values leadership that reflects His nature. God is also healing generational limitations through you. What once restricted others will not restrain you. Patterns of lack, fear, or compromise are being broken. Your obedience is creating a new reference point. God is using your life to rewrite narratives, to establish new standards of faith and courage. This blessing carries impact beyond your lifetime. There will be moments when you feel stretched between gratitude for where you are and longing for where God is taking you. This tension is holy. It keeps you humble and hungry. God is teaching you to live in gratitude without losing vision, to celebrate progress without settling. This balance keeps your spirit alive and expectant. God is also reminding you that consistency matters more than intensity. Sustained obedience outlasts emotional bursts. Faith lived daily carries more power than faith displayed occasionally. God honors steady hearts. He rewards those who remain faithful when excitement fades and routine sets in. Your strength lies in your consistency. As God continues to bless you before the world, He will invite you to release control. Not irresponsibility, but surrender. Control creates anxiety. Surrender creates peace. God knows the weight you are carrying, and He is asking you to trust Him with outcomes. Your responsibility is obedience. God's responsibility is results. God is also refining your speech. Words carry power, especially in seasons of influence. God will guide you to speak with wisdom, restraint, and intention. You will learn that not every thought needs expression and not every truth needs defense. Silence, when guided by God, becomes strength. You may find that your circle becomes smaller but stronger. God often narrows relationships to protect purpose. This is not loss, it is alignment. God removes what drains you and preserves what strengthens you. Quality will replace quantity. Depth will replace noise. God is also cultivating resilience within you, not the kind that hardens the heart, but the kind that strengthens resolve. You will bounce back faster, recover quicker, and stand firmer. Challenges will no longer derail you, they will refine you. This resilience is built through trust. Your perspective will continue to shift. Problems that once overwhelmed you will now appear manageable. Fear that once controlled you will lose its voice. God is enlarging your perspective so that circumstances no longer define your response. Faith changes how you see. God is also teaching you to honor the process even after the promise manifests. Many forget the discipline that sustained them once the reward appears. God is reminding you that the same principles that brought the blessing will keep it. Obedience remains essential. Humility remains necessary. Trust remains central. As you walk forward, let your life remain an open testimony. Not perfection, but authenticity. Not display, but depth. God's work in you is not finished, and the story continues to unfold. Stay aligned, stay faithful, stay surrendered. God is still moving, still guiding, still blessing, still revealing His power through a life that shows trust when it was difficult and obedience when it was costly. As you step fully into this season, let your heart remain anchored in the truth that it was God who carried you here, God who sustained you here, and God who will keep you here. Nothing about your journey has been accidental. Every delay refined you. Every challenge strengthened you. Every quiet season prepared you for this visible one. What the world is witnessing now is not sudden favor, but accumulated obedience meeting divine timing. God has proven Himself faithful in the unseen, and now He is revealing that faithfulness openly. Stand without fear as the blessing unfolds. Do not shrink, do not hide, and do not doubt what God has established. Walk forward with calm assurance, knowing that the same God who opened these doors will give you wisdom to walk through them with grace. Let gratitude remain your posture, humility remain your foundation, and trust remain your constant companion. When questions arise, let your peace answer. When pressure increases, let your faith steady you. When attention grows, let God remain at the center of every decision. Carry this blessing with reverence. Let it deepen your dependence, not replace it. Let it sharpen your purpose, not distract it. Let it expand your influence, not dilute your integrity. God has placed His hand upon your life for a reason greater than applause and higher than recognition. Your elevation is a declaration that faithfulness still matters and obedience still carries reward. Move forward knowing that what God begins, He sustains. What God establishes, He protects. What God blesses, He multiplies in its appointed time. Remain aligned, remain faithful, remain surrendered, and let your life continue to testify without striving, without fear, without compromise that God is powerful, God is intentional, and God is worthy of trust in every season. And even as this chapter settles into place, remember that arrival does not mean completion. God does not bring you into visibility to pause your growth, but to deepen it. Each new level will invite new trust, and each new responsibility will call for renewed surrender. Let your success never become a substitute for seeking God, but a reason to seek Him more intently. Let every victory remind you of dependence, and every open door remind you of the hand that opened it. When the noise grows louder and the pace quickens, return often to stillness. In stillness, your strength will be renewed. In stillness, your perspective will be clarified. In stillness, God will remind you that your value has never been tied to performance, and your peace has never been dependent on approval. The world may measure progress by speed and scale, but God measures fruit by faithfulness and truth by endurance. Allow your life to remain teachable. No matter how far you go, stay willing to learn, willing to listen, willing to adjust. God continues to guide those who remain humble enough to be led. Pride closes ears, but humility keeps the path clear. As long as your heart stays soft, God's guidance will stay strong. And when future challenges arise, as they surely will, do not interpret them as signs of reversal. Growth always invites resistance. Expansion always meets tension. But you are no longer the person you once were. You carry wisdom now. You carry experience now. You carry evidence of God's faithfulness now. What once would have shaken you will now steady you, because your trust is anchored deeper than circumstances. So walk forward without anxiety about tomorrow. God is already there. Walk forward without regret about yesterday. God has redeemed it. Walk forward with confidence, rooted not in certainty, but in trust. The path ahead may unfold one step at a time, but each step is ordered, each moment is observed, and each outcome is held securely in God's hands. Let your life continue to speak quietly yet powerfully. Let consistency be your language. Let integrity be your signature. Let peace be your witness. And through it all, let God remain your source, your guide, and your assurance, now in what is unfolding and in all that is yet to come.